Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Summer. And to all of you that keep coming back, hello and welcome back. Quick reminder, if you've never subscribed, just to remind you to click that red button there that says subscribe, and after that click the bell sign. That's where you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. So in today's video, I made a video a few days ago about the pastor they call Pastor Funke, in which she said if a man's life is not appreciating after marriage, the wife is a witch. Okay, thank God a lot of people were speaking up and saying that what she said was wrong, outrightly wrong. But for those people, not a lot of people, but I think it's important to address it. For those people that are making excuses for her, well, that's not what she meant. You know what she actually tried to say is, there is no excuse at all. I want to make this video to say this: there is no excuse at all. This is a topic that I take seriously because there is so much that has been going on for years that it takes a lot of us speaking up to start changing this narrative, or changing this mentality. Stop making excuses for that woman. What she said was wrong. Okay, a lot of us like her are mothers to grown daughters and sons, and we are not kids, we are not babies. We know what it is in Nigeria to call a woman a witch. She's not a baby. She knows it. I know it. So there's no reason to make excuses for her. It's not something she should have said. Let's call a spade a spade. If she had said a woman that the husband is not appreciating, is lazy, then we can start debating about lazy or not lazy, because because that one too is very debatable. Okay, but at least we can say, okay, but the witch, there is no way you can make excuse for that. You know what is sad is that I have seen some people that can actually speak. When it comes to any other topic, they will discuss it, dissect it, and they will bring out so much facts. But when it comes to anybody that claims to be a man or a woman of God, all of a sudden they become powerless to speak the same truth. That is wrong. Why the double standard? Why the double standard? Let's be honest, it's not something that should be joked about. Do you know what has happened to a lot of women, that their husbands have been convinced that their wives are witches in our culture? Do you know what in-laws will do to a woman that the families believe, that they believe she's a witch, that is married to their brother or married to whatever? She should never. And the worst part is that she's supposed to be a preacher. She's supposed to be a preacher, and then she's speaking the typical traditional, like I said in my other video, babalawo way of speaking, calling a woman a witch. I've said it in that video and I'll say it again. The power to be rich is not in the hands of a woman. What she said was not biblically backed. She just said it. She's a preacher. She's supposed to stick with what the Bible says. The Bible didn't say that. It's important to address this because we know what women go through in our culture. We know what women go through in a lot of African homes. Married women, even from the minute you give birth to twins, right? One is a boy, one is a girl. Because of what they have between their legs, their parts are already chosen. The female will be oppressed from the day she's born until the day she dies. Do you know there are some parts of Nigeria where it is debatable where a woman should be buried? If you know about the burial rights of some women in our culture, in some parts of some of our cultures, you'll be shocked. It's not equal between men and women. From the moment they are born, people already decide their fate according to what's between their legs. These are the things we're fighting against. We are human beings at the end of the day. Every human being deserves to have a life. Because somebody is a woman, a lot of our women have been through hell. Let's start from, if a woman is a housewife, she's an ordinary housewife. What is she? She's an ordinary housewife. People think being a housewife is easy. It's not easy. A lot of us have been pregnant several times and had how many children? Being pregnant is not a joke. And then go to have a baby is not a joke. And then nurse this baby and look after this baby. All these things are not jokes. Men don't get to do that. That is the way nature has designed it. Yet a woman is told, your baby is already 6 months old. What are you waiting for? Go and this, go and that, go and this, go and that. But don't forget that men do not go through these things that women have to go through by nature. People don't realize these things. Oh, just a housewife. I have been a housewife. I have experienced both. So I'm in a position to speak about these things. I remember the first time that I employed, a nanny. And this nanny that I employed is basically part-time nanny. Okay, she would walk the kids to school in the morning. She didn't wash my kids. She didn't bath them. She would walk them to school, come back and microwave their food. I would have made the food already. Her own is to microwave the food and eat it and let them eat. She sits at home and minds them until I come back in the evening. She wasn't doing all my housework. They were just selected things she had to do. The main thing is just to be present in the house because my kids were underage. And I thought about how much money I was paying her. That was the first time I realized how much it costs to be me, a housewife. How much it costs to be me. And I realized for the first time that I couldn't employ me. Do you know what I mean? The work that I do, if I had to pay myself a salary, I couldn't afford me. I don't know any other way to put it. For a woman that is the chef, okay? A chef, the cleaner, the gate man, because I open my own gate and close it myself, right? The gate man, a gate man, a gardener, what else? What do you call it? What do you call it? In Nigeria, we say homework teacher, driver. I started thinking about all the things that I did while I was at home full time. Then, do you know how much that is involved? That was the first time I realized how expensive housewives are. And a housewife stays at home and does all of these things. And people say, she's just a housewife. If a woman says, no, I don't want to be a housewife, I want to work. And the husband says, no, don't work, or stay at home, I want you to be a housewife. And she said, no, I'm going to work. That's another problem altogether. She is not submissive. She's supposed to be submissive. Her husband, why can she not listen to her husband? You see that women, we cannot win as women. We cannot win. And she is a woman. She's adding to this, right? A woman that is working and making money, and the husband say, hand over. And she said, no, I cannot hand over my salary. In our African context, she's not submissive too. You see that? You see what I'm talking about? Okay. And then a woman is working and she's making income. Do you know that there's some people that believe that a woman should be careful not to become richer than her husband? In our African, Nigerian mentality. There are people that believe that you should not become more successful than your husband. This is the mentality we're fighting against. You see that women cannot win. From here to here, there is no winning for women. If I take that promotion now, my salary will become more than my husband's. I don't know. I don't do this. These are the things we're fighting against. If a woman becomes more successful than her husband, and she has become the managing director or the CEO of something, and then she's coming home later than the husband, because now she's a manager or CEO, and then she stayed for that meeting, after work meeting, because she's the manager or she's the CEO, and she gets home, and she gets home after the husband. She gets home, the husband food is not ready. Let's be honest. She gets home, her husband food is not, she has not served the husband food. So now you have become too big that you're coming home after your husband. So your husband will come home now, and house girl is dishing food, house girl is serving your husband. Okay, you don't know what you are doing. Okay, continue. So now you have become so big that you are staying behind, and your husband is getting home before you. I want to list these things for those that do not get what I was trying to say in that video. Women go through so much. Are we going to forget a lot of Nigerian nurses in America? Was it not a few years ago when there was a, let me use the word, pandemic of women, pandemic of Nigerian nurses abroad. Let me call it a pandemic because it became a pandemic. For the lack of a better word, let me call it a pandemic. That they were Nigerian men deleting their wives abroad that were nurses or doctors. And everybody was carrying them in their mind. Hey, don't mind them. They go abroad and they become nurses or they become doctors. They are now more successful than their husbands. Now they do this, they do that, they do this. People do not know the whole story that is underneath it. I'm not saying all the stories are the same. But our African mentality was like, now they are successful is a problem. Our African women cannot be too successful than their husbands. You know, another problem is that when they say a woman should keep striving, all these things, a woman now decides to now say, okay, let me go and make the money and bring money and be the breadwinner. Breadwinner is the problem. If a man is the breadwinner, the woman can be at home and do all the housework from A to Z. But if the table turns in our culture and the woman now is the breadwinner, there are some men that have decided to stay at home because their wives are making a lot of money. And then, believe it or not, our culture still says that the man cannot be doing housework. For what? Ah, no, that's woman rapper. That woman, look at complete turn of table. When the man is the 100% breadwinner, the woman was 100% housekeeper, children minder, cook, everything. But if he turns and the woman becomes the breadwinner, our culture still says her house is still her job to do. If the man takes the housework 100%, the man is bathing the children, he's taking them to school, he's cleaning the house, he's cooking. He has become a woman rapper. Our culture does not allow women. This is the problem. So where do you want women to be? Stay at home is the problem. Go and become the breadwinner. She's still in trouble. We need to let our women breathe. We need to let our women live. It is not a crime to be a woman. It is so hard. There are some women that genuinely are completely broken because they don't know what to do to feel like they are doing it right in our Nigerian context. You saying a woman, if your husband does not appreciate after marriage, she's the witch. People let me link of the full video, and I went and I watched it. She was trying to, she motivated women to be hardworking. There are 1,000,001 ways to motivate women to be hardworking without condemning a woman in the process. And don't forget that you cannot tell a family how to run their homes. There are some men that are happy for their wives to be housewives, and the women are doing the housewife thing and it's working for them. That is the agreement in their own household. So if she wants to motivate women, tell them, you can do this, you can do that. But don't say a woman is a witch. A witch, long. Don't make excuses for that woman. I remember more than 20 years ago, about 25 years ago, I went to visit my sister in Lagos. And, she was single. And then had a job and all of this. She was not married yet. I remember my sister then, she had the TV and it was black and white. And she told me she didn't like black and white TV. She wanted the colored TV. But she said, I don't want to buy a colored TV because, you see, if a woman is, if a man sees that you already have all these things, they're going to feel like you're already too high class for them to marry. She was afraid to buy a colored TV because if she buys a colored TV, if there's anybody she's seen and they see that she's already successful, they may feel like because there was a time, I don't know if it's still the same back home, where they feel like if a woman is already successful, forget her. She's not going to be submissive because she's already successful. What kind of a life is that? At the end of the day, let's not forget that, we all came to this life as human beings at the end of the day. Let's not frustrate a particular group of people just because they are females. Why can't we all be fulfilled? Why should a man be free to be fulfilled in life, but a woman cannot be? Why can't women breathe? I have been in the position where I was a full-time housewife. I have been in a position where I was a breadwinner. And I can speak from both sides. Even this woman, the woman they call Pastor Funke, I have seen comment people saying that the way this woman is, the way she's running her mouth, the way that she must be the one controlling her husband. And she must be the one, what's it called? The husband is quiet. It seems that she's the breadwinner in her house. She has turned her husband to a woman rapper and all of those things. This narrative, this mentality that they are even using is the same mentality that they are using on her herself. And that is what people like us are fighting against. Because she's vocal does not necessarily mean that her husband is not vocal. The same mentality is what people use at her as well. So when we fight against this mentality, we are fighting against those people that talk about her like that as well. But she is promoting it. She's promoting it. How do we win as women? How do we win? I wanted to make this video to address this, because it is a mentality that we need to fight against. Let's let women breathe. We're all here on earth. There's only one life we all live. Nobody deserves life to be squeezed out of them. Nobody deserves their life to be dimmed or, because they are women. It is wrong. It is wrong. There's just so much burden on the typical Nigerian woman. It's suffocating. It is suffocating, and I'm hoping you guys understand it. It may look like nothing to some of you, but this is how the oppression of women is happening, and we need to speak up against it, because at the end of the day, every human being, regardless of what you were born with in between your legs, deserve to be fulfilled and to have a life. And with that, I'm just gonna say thank you for watching. Until the next time, guys. Bye.